So here's my sort of model diesel engine starter I've put together. I had to cut these balls down to size to fit just about every bolt there is. This is a 4mm, these are 3mm, so those are 4 each side. There's 2 washers on, these plastic washers on each side, and there's a metal washer. These are button head flanged Allen balls. Those are just Allen balls there for the 3mm. But on the, you might have a smooth side and a bit more rougher side, but put the 2 smoother excuse me, 2 smoother sides together. Now this works okay. Now I don't have the spring in yet, that's what I'm going to do. I use some Tipp-Ex to write on here. Oh, it's magnetic, this. Well, the screwdriver is I'm going to be using. I just put some Tipp-Ex marks on to sort of help make sure it's going to go the right way, correct way around. See, so it wants to go that way. There's a little, try to put a little arrow there. Might just about make that out. It's a bit glistening, this camera. Like that. Now do not remove this sort of wire. Yours might have a clip on, but don't remove it until you're absolutely ready, because it will spring out. And these can contain an awful lot of energy, a lot of power, so you have to have some safety precautions. Now I don't know how well I can use these gloves, but I do have some cheap safety sort of glasses to protect my eyes, because this could fling out, and these can have sharp edges on the springs as well. Okay. So never mind that, but I was going to try and show you how it can be a bit sort of iffy to unscrew, because sometimes the other nut or whatever, or the bolt just unscrews instead of the one that you want to unscrew, so to speak. So as I say, there's 2 of these 1mm thick washers with the smooth sides facing each other. And there's a sort of ratchet lid, as I call it. There's the other like pawl. Now this has to be lined up a certain way, because there's a cutout in here, and there's a 1 point, oh no, so I've got the other screw in. So I have to hold this not on the fins, so to speak, not on the arms, because those might break, but generally supporting all of it. Again, there's 2 washers here, 2 of these plastic 1mm thick washers, enough 1mm anyway. These are 4mm balls, about 15mm long. Now, I'm going to turn this, get in the right position, a bit like a key, I think. See, it does have this peg on, that's to sort of grip the inside of the spring. There's a gap similar to this one, that's on the outside, but there's a similar gap like that on the inside. Hoping that's the right size to grip that. These again have been cut to length, 3mm. These are into the plastic. Going directly into a plastic hole that, in that case, drilled at 2.5. These holes here were drilled at 2.5. The 4mm ones were drilled to 3.5. So then you've got this middle bottom piece, as I know what I'm calling it. You've got the pawl, sort of the main pawl, you've got the sliding button. Now that's a bit loose there. It wants to be a little bit loose, but I think I've got it a bit loose, too loose. I can cut that down the length that goes, because that just screws onto there. Another bolt in there, Allen button head. There's a gap for the peg, because that's got to go through to the side below. This plate helps stabilise this a bit when it's going to turn, etc, etc. It helps contain the main spring. Then we've got the middle top piece, which has the word danger on. These extra sort of supports here, and that's to keep your fingers this side, because this side will be sort of going where, like the propeller will be on this side as it starts up. So you want to keep your fingers this side. That's why it has a danger on, word danger on. Don't want to cut your fingers off. Then we've got like the main body part. See, there's a, let me just make out the like peg thing for the spring to catch on. So now it's basically getting this into here. That's interesting. Look at the magnets there. These are magnetic. Getting this into here without it springing too loose. And one idea I have is almost slide this in, gradually try and slide this off here, because it will slip this a bit, and gradually push it down into, keeping it contained in here, so if it springs out, it will spring out within this area. Now I've got to decide whether I'm going to do the middle part, try and get the middle part on first. I'm going to talk about this just now, or just do the outside. I think I will do the middle part first now. Make sure you are putting it in the hole before you try to do it. This will be a bit of a test anyway. So I've got another bit here that should help me get this, because that's quite smaller than this diameter, the circle here. So I've got another part to help me, an aid. That's the aid part to help me get that on. I'll just get that part out. So this is a part I'm calling an aid. As you see, it's got a bit like a cone. 4mm bolt, in this case hex head. It wants to be small enough to go like inside the middle of the spring there. Put that in the hole, which has threads like forced into it. This was, well, drilled out at 3.5, and then a bolt, 4mm bolt forced into it to cut its own threads. Not anything special about, not like a tap or anything, just a bolt. Right, so this wants to go on there, and I want to double check. So you're almost putting it on the wrong way around. That's partly why I put these others on, just to make sure. Yeah, that way going towards the front. This has to go on here first, and then it's a case of pushing this onto there. I'll just get my safety glasses back on, because I've had to go somewhere to get this bolt. Put a glove on. Try and put 2 gloves on if I can manage this with gloves on. I find it quite difficult to work with these gloves on. And then I want to push each side with my thumb, pressing this on this sort of wooden desk table thing here. And I'm going to actually sort of go in an unwind motion to open up the spring as I go a bit. And this is let's see, it is going, but now we have to get over that bump. Again, being quite careful, trying to make sure that this stays centered, this sort of ring all the way around. Yours might have a sort of C-shaped clip. There's different methods. Yep, it's going on there, but as it, I don't know if you can see that. It's still got to go over that peg thing, which I might need a screwdriver on this. Let's move this out of the way. Holding it. By turning it this way, that's actually in a way opening up the coils a bit, while loosening them. It makes it easier. So let's try and get. Right, I'm going to try and possibly get a small screwdriver down here to lever this. I want to try and find out where that bump is. I want the edge of the spring almost on, like come around that way, on the, somewhere near the edge of the, yeah, there's a bump down there. So yeah, it's very hard to get the lighting just right here. I think if I move that screwdriver like more near the end, it's going to give enough gap to go, hopefully go over that bump. I can wiggle the screwdriver a bit. I think this is the, I think it certainly wants putting on this inside part first before putting on the outside. I think this is the hardest part. Just trying to show you that much as I can. Again, can hold the central thing in, and with that, I think that might be almost, yep, I think the spring is riding now on this bump. You might just make that out. Now it's lining up the hole, up and down and sideways. I'll just press that on down a little bit more using the edge of this screwdriver if I can. So I do actually think I want to come backwards, but I'm going to turn it all the way around forwards, because that'll be, if you try to turn it backwards, that's almost squeezing the spring in tighter, and it's probably going to make it harder to turn. I'll just keep turning this. That's very close to the hole there, I can see it. I think that's about on, that's, as far as I can tell, that's almost directly on the hole. Let me have a look at this, closer look. Keep my safety glasses on. So I think it just wants like moving slightly with the screwdriver. I think what's happened is it's actually gone past the hole a bit, so I'm going to keep on rotating it until I can get lined up a bit better. Well, I removed this spring and I filed down the edges of this like peg thing just a little bit, and it certainly fits better now. Actually, that's quite loose going over there now, so obviously that spring has been stretched outwards, probably by using that screwdriver. And I tried the spring just on the shaft by itself, as I saw, and it did. I won't put back on now, but it did fit quite well. I had to actually, well, I had to press it on with a bit with the screwdriver, and you see the long nose pliers to get the grip a bit. Now that's opened up a bit. So I have got my safety glasses on just in case. So getting this lined up is one of the real fiddly things. Now there are springs with like loops in, but they might take up quite a bit more space. I mean, this model actually is getting a bit big for my liking anyway. Now I think that is, so it's very difficult, you know, if it's difficult for you, it's just as difficult for me, honest, to see where the hole is when it's, you turn it. Right, that is in the hole now. You just see it. I don't know if you can see it. Put this other light on, like balance up the colour, light a bit. And what I'm going to do is actually squeeze a bit. Not that one, this one. Just make sure it is. So these are just standard long nose pliers. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. That's definitely. One problem is there's a gap there on that side, so I'm going to have to close that gap in, otherwise it's just going to unhook. Again, trying these long nose pliers, particularly that edge actually. It's more so that edge than any other edge really. That edge has the grip. That's better. Don't know. Let's see. Might see that. Getting a light just light on this is virtually impossible. But yep, that is on that thing. So to wind up, it's going that way. If I put that on the right way around, it's really just, yeah, it should be. Wind up. Just a second, I've got to check that the winding is the right way around here, like winding the spring up, because as I'm turning that, see that's unhooking that, but if I turn it that way it probably will grip on. Let me check that. Well yeah, it's only now after, you know, triple, double, quadruple checking, now I've got the spring like lined up the wrong way. So I've got this arrow on pointing this way around. That should be pointing towards the face, which is going to go on there. Basically this one goes on there, and this goes on here. So that is definitely the face. And when it's winding up, it wants to be turning like this way. But when I had that if I have this arrow that I put on here facing the way I had it originally, when I'm doing that, it's actually unwinding this spring, isn't it? Yeah, that would be like unwinding the spring. It's going the wrong direction. Now I can't just swap it round because there is like a wedge shape on this peg. So I'll have to reprint this and put the peg, this peg thing. That's to fit in the hole, which as you can see on the outside one, it goes narrower one way than the other one. So I'm going to have to print this out again. That also means I'm going to have to print this one out again, most likely, because that peg is also going to be, sorry, that's going out of focus, out of line. So that's a bug, that's a well, in a way, a bugger up, because I double checked this. That's why I put this Tipex on here to say, yep, that is the right way around, after checking and checking and checking, and it's wrong. So I'm going to redesign this, like, well, I'm just like tearing that peg round, print it out again. This is the one that's the main problem, because this takes about 5 hours to print this out. Right, I'll finish off there, but that's wrong. Well, I'm just going to play about a bit more with this, see if I think it could work like this.